Hello everyone, welcome to A Fistful of Dice. My name is Matt. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. I'm kind of filming at an odd angle here. I actually have my webcam on my monitor, but upside down, so it's filming the correct way. So hopefully it doesn't jostle around too much. What I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be rolling up a D&D basic character for use in Dungeonmaster Johnny's 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons upcoming campaign that I'm going to be playing in. The character I'm going to be rolling up is a halfling cleric by the name of Rorik Surefoot. And I played Rorik last year in a 2nd edition D&D game that Dungeonmaster Johnny ran for myself, Keith Hershey Jr., and Craig, Casual DM. This upcoming campaign is going to be myself, Keith Hershey Jr., and Kirk from PhD&D. So I should say that I'm going to be doing this a little bit differently than the basic rules suggest. Basic suggests that you pick your race, you pick your class, then you roll your ability scores, then you choose your background. I'm going to be doing it kind of backwards. I'm going to roll my scores, then I'm going to choose my race, then I'm going to choose my background, and then I'm going to choose my class. So doing things a little bit differently here. But that's through character creation so far in Basic. That is the way I prefer it, and really it doesn't matter what order you do things in. I just find that that is the most conducive for me in terms of character creation. So, alright, so I've got my favorite character generation dice, my bone dice here, bone d6s. I'm going to go ahead and roll my stats. 4d6, drop lowest, allocate. So first roll, I've got a 14. Second roll, I've got myself an 11. Third roll, I've got myself a 9. Fourth roll, got myself a 10. Fifth roll, I have a 14. And sixth and final roll, I've got a 13. So 14, 11, 9, 10, 14, 13. Okay, so not bad. So right off the bat, I'm going to put one of those 14s in Wisdom. I'm going to put the other 14 in Charisma. Then I'm going to do a 13 Dex. And 11 intelligence, a 9 strength, and a 10 constitution. Actually, I'm going to do that a little bit differently. I'm going to go ahead and put the 9 in dexterity and this 13 in strength. Because I am playing a cleric and I want a little bit of oomph to my attacks. And it makes sense that he's, you know, whirling a mace around, he would have a little bit of muscle behind that. So those are my stats as they stand. Now I'm going to pull up my my basic rules here, and hopefully you guys can... Okay, perfect. You guys can see that, I think. Okay. So, like I said, the first thing I'm going to do, I got my stats. Now I'm going to go through and add my racial modifiers, and then I'm going to go through do my background, and then I'm going to do my class. And once I've done all that stuff, I'm going to transfer all that information onto the character sheet. I kind of like to do everything on a piece of scratch paper first, since the modifiers change so much. So, okay, so looking at what halflings get here. So we get an ability score increase. So dexterity goes up by 2. So my dex of 9 becomes a dex of 11. Age, so they reach maturity at the age of 20. But Rorik's been around for a while, so I'm going to say Rorik's about 29. He's been adventuring for a little while now. Alignment, Rorik is lawful good. And it says here that halflings tend towards lawful good. Hopefully that's not shaking too much for you guys. I'm trying to keep my monitor from shaking around too much. And that works with his deity as well. So, and then size, I know it's small. Base speed is 25 feet. okay, lucky, I'm going to write that on my sheet later, but basically lucky means I can re-roll a 1 on any roll of a d20. That's kind of insane. That's kind of the best thing ever, so I'm pretty excited about that. I also get brave, which means I get advantage on saving throws against being frightened. I can move through, I have halfling nimbleness, I can move through the space of any creature that is a size larger than me, so medium or bigger. Languages, I can speak common and halfling, so that's cool, and then I get to pick a sub-race here. All of the races in D&D Basic, aside from humans, have 2 sub-races to pick from. So you have High Elf, Wood Elf, Mountain Dwarf, Hill Dwarf, Lightfoot Halfling, and Stout Halfling. So Rorik is a Stout Halfling, which means he's just a little bit hardier and less dexterous than his Lightfoot counterpart. So Stout Halflings, think of them as hobbits. They're definitely more hobbity. So that means my Constitution is going to go up by 1, so my Con goes up to 11. And I get Stout Resilience, which means I get advantages on saving throws against poison damage. Okay, so that's my race. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead to the backgrounds and pick my background now. And I know this is different than it says to do it in the basic rules, but this is the way I like to do it so far. So the natural choice with a cleric is to go with acolyte. I'm actually going to go against the grain here a little bit and pick folk hero. And the reason why I like this is because it gives Rorik a little something else to work with in terms of role-playing, other than the fact that he is a religious person. So the folk hero background, it's going to give me animal handling and survival as skill proficiencies. Man, that's really shaking a lot. I'm sorry, guys. And survival. I will really try and not shake too much here. Survival, I get tool proficiencies on artisans' tools and land vehicles, so like wagons, carriages, things like that. And then equipment, I'm going to actually buy my starting equipment here. So, and then a featured thing is rustic hospitality. It says, since I come from the ranks of the common folk, I fit in among them with ease. I can find a place to hide, rest, or recuperate among other commoners. So that's really cool. I love these background features that are totally non-mechanical. They're just roleplay based. They're really, really cool. Like criminal gets something called criminal contact, where you basically just come up with a way that you're able to contact like the criminal underworld. It's way, way awesome. I really like it. One of my favorite features of D&D Next. So, so they've got these cool little roll tables that I can use here to help generate some of the stuff that my character is going to have. So I need to get some more dice out here, a d10, a d8, and a d6. I'm not sure if I'm going to roll all these or I'm going to pick them because I already have a pretty good idea of what Rorik has going on here. So I'm going to take out my character sheet here. I'm going to start putting stuff on here. So the first thing I do is I'm going to pick my defining event. And the defining event for a folk hero is basically like what made you popular among the common folk, among the common people of your town. Like, what did you do to gain notoriety? So I'm going to go ahead and roll a d10 here, and it's going to randomly pick the defining event in Rorik's backstory. Now, if I wanted to, I could go through and just pick one that sounded good to me, or I could make up one that's not listed here. But I really do enjoy random generation aspects like this, and because I already have a pretty good idea of who Rorik is and where he comes from, I like the randomness that comes from this, so it's going to be a kind of help me build him up a little bit. So I roll an 8, and a lord rescinded an unpopular decree after I led a symbolic act of protest against it. So that's really cool. So that basically means the local lord basically went back on a decision that he made because I led a protest against it. So I'm going to have to do some thinking on that, about what that might have been, but that kind of helps me put Rorik in a little bit of perspective here. So Now let's look at personality traits here for the folk hero. So this is things like judging people by their actions, not their words, always willing to lend help, following through no matter what, strong sense of fair play, confident in my own abilities, thinking is for other people, I prefer actions, misuse long words in an attempt to sound smarter, get bored easily. Sorry. So what I'm going to pick here is... I'm going to say if someone is in trouble, I always am ready to lend help. That strikes me as a very Rorik Surefoot quality. If someone is in trouble, I'm always willing to lend help. Okay? Ideals. Ideal is like your values, your most treasured value, the thing you subscribe to the most. And these are things like respect, fairness, freedom, might, sincerity, destiny. And I'm going to go ahead and say... I'm going to say respect. People deserve to be treated with dignity. And that is probably going to play into my defining event here that I rolled earlier, where I led a protest against a local lord. And it was probably, having to do something with people not getting respect. Bond. Now, this is something that's kind of important to you. It's, either a material possession, a friend, a relationship, something like that. And it's also like a goal that you can work towards. So things like finding your family, protecting the land, standing up to bullies, carrying your tools around, protecting those who cannot protect themselves. I'm going to do that. I protect those who cannot protect themselves. I protect those who cannot protect themselves. Okay. Now, flaws. So these are things that are holding you back a little bit. Something that you can use to really take your roleplay to the next level. Things like tyrant chasing me, blind to my shortcomings, people who knew me when I was young know my shameful secret. I have a weakness for the vices of the city, especially hard drink. Secretly, I believe that things would be better if I were a tyrant, lording over the land. I have trouble trusting my allies. I'm actually going to roll this randomly because I don't have a very good idea of where Rorik is on this chart, so I'm going to go ahead and roll it. And I got a 6, so I have trouble trusting in my allies. Maybe I was betrayed at some point. Or maybe I just have an issue with control. Now, some people like this background stuff. Some people don't like it. I absolutely love it. Some people think that it takes away the process of coming up with your character's backstory, that it dictates what who your character is, that it's basically doing your imagining for you, quote unquote. I don't think it's that at all. I think all of this stuff, these are tools. These are tools you can use to create your character. You can choose to use them, or you can choose to not use them. You can come up with your own personality traits, ideals, bonds, flaws. You can come up with your own backgrounds. But what this is it's not creating your character for you. It's giving you some really meaty kind of like character hooks that you can use to really define your character and find motivation, not just by looking at your character sheet and saying, well, what alignment am I? What would a lawful good person do? It's much more nuanced than that, much more important and rich. So I love the background stuff. It's some of my favorite stuff in D&D 5th edition. I can't wait to see what different backgrounds and traits and bonds and all that kind of stuff that they come up with. And also bear in mind that you can mix and match all of these stuff. You don't necessarily have to pick stuff from the roll table of the background that you pick. So I can pick folk hero and roll on the criminal thing. I can pick acolyte and roll on folk hero, soldier, acolyte, and sage. You know, it really doesn't matter. And, you know, people say, well, there's only 4 classes and 4 races. Well, with 4 classes, 4 races, and all of these backgrounds, you can create an endless combination of characters that are all going to be unique and different and have different goals, motivations, flaws, and personality traits. So I'm a big fan of it. Okay, now we're going to do class. Like I said, I'm doing this a little differently. So we're going to go back to cleric. Okay, cleric. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer all of my stats here that I rolled before onto my character sheet. And like I said, I just like to do this so that I can keep my sheet nice and clean. So strength is 13, which is a +1. Dexterity is 11, which is a +0. Constitution is 11, which is a +0. Intelligence is 11. Oops, I just put it in the wrong spot. Erase it here. I got caught up in the moment. Intelligence is 11, which is a +0. Wisdom is 14, +2. Charisma, 14, +2. Now, let's look at what I got here as a level 1 cleric. I'm going to be playing a level 2, but I'm going to level them up later. I'm just going to do level 1 right now. Proficiency bonus. And proficiency bonus is essentially, it's like an amalgamation of base attack bonus and skill ranks. A proficiency bonus is essentially something that applies to everything that you are good at, including skills and saving throws. It is a very elegant system. I love proficiency bonus. It makes everything so simple, and I'm going to show you how that works in a little bit. So, cleric class features. So my hit points at first level are 8 plus my constitution modifier, which is 0. So my my hit points, it's going to be 8 hit points. Proficiencies, armor, proficient in light, medium, and shields. Weapons, I'm proficient in simple weapons. And then saving throws. Okay, so here's where the proficiency bonus comes into play. So a cleric is proficient in the wisdom and charisma saving throws. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the little circles next to wisdom and charisma. And what this means is when I go through and I calculate my saving throws based on my ability modifiers, the wisdom and charisma saving throws are also going to get my proficiency bonus because I excel at those things. And that is exactly how the skill proficiencies work as well. So do you remember earlier when I was picking my background and I had those 2 skill proficiencies, animal handling and survival? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to my skills and I'm going to fill in a little circle next to animal handling and survival. And what's that going to do? It's going to give me my proficiency bonus in addition to the ability modifier that I already get in these skills. Okay? And then the skills for being a cleric, I get to choose 2 from history, insight, medicine, persuasion, and religion. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick medicine and insight. Okay, so now let's go through and calculate these really quick. So my strength saving throw is just, I don't get to add my proficiency bonus, it's just a +1. Dexterity is +0. Constitution is +0. Intelligence, +0. Wisdom is +2. And my proficiency bonus is +2. So my wisdom save is +4. And same with my charisma, +2, +2. So +4 for both of those. And then my skills, acrobatics is dex +0, animal handling is wisdom, plus my proficiency bonus +4. Arcana is intelligence +0, athletics is strength +1. Deception is charisma plus 2. History is intelligence plus 0. Insight is wisdom plus my proficiency bonus plus 4. Intimidation is charisma plus 2. Investigation is intelligence plus 0. Medicine is wisdom plus proficiency bonus plus 4. Nature is intelligence plus 0. Perception is wisdom plus 2. Performance is charisma plus 2. Persuasion is charisma plus 2. Religion is intelligence plus 0. Sleight of hand is dex plus 0. Stealth is dex plus 0. Survival is wisdom plus proficiency bonus plus 4. Okay, simple as that. My hit dice is 1d8, so I'm going to put that down here because that applies to certain things. Okay, class and level, I'm cleric. Background is folk hero. Player name is Matt. Race, Lightfoot halfling, or no, stout halfling, I'm sorry. Stout halfling. Alignment is lawful good. And character name, I am Rorik Surefoot. Okay. Now, my initiative is just going to be my dex bonus, so plus 0. My speed is 25 feet because I'm a little shorty. And then, let's see here. So, I got my class. I also get a divine domain. In the basic rules, there's just one domain so far, which is the life domain. And life domain, I become proficient in heavy armor. So I'm just going to put that next to my other armor proficiencies. Heavy. And my healing spells are more powerful. So I'm going to put that in my features and traits. So whenever I cast a first level or higher healing spell, the creature gains additional hit points to 2 plus spells level. So I'm going to put that down here. So Disciple of Life. 2 plus spell level extra HP. That's just a note to help me remember there. So, okay, now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish filling out my character sheet. So I'm going to add the halfling traits. I'm going to add any traits that I get for being a folk hero. And then we're going to come back and buy some equipment. So I'll see you guys on this in just a second. So I finished filling out my sheet. I went ahead and added all of the stuff I get for being a cleric and being a halfling. And now I also did my passive wisdom perception, which is just 10 plus your perception score, and made sure I wrote down the languages that I speak as well. So now we're going to go ahead and buy equipment. So I'm looking at the starting wealth by class chart here in the equipment section of the basic rules. Clerics get 5d4 times 10 gold pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and roll that now. I've got 2 d4s here. So 6 total, 9 total, 11 total. So 110 gold pieces. I'll go ahead and write that down here on gold pieces. 110. And let's see here. I'm going to buy some armor. So I'm going to buy some medium armor. And I'm going to buy... Let's see here. I'm going to buy a chain shirt. Chain shirt. And the chain shirt gives me 13 AC plus my dex modifier. So my AC is just going to be 13 because my dex modifier is 0. So 13 AC. I'm also going to buy a shield. So chain shirt, shield. And the shield is going to give me +2 to my armor class. So that goes up to 15. Alright, not bad for level 1. Okay. I'm going to buy weapons. So the thing with Rorik is he has a magic quarterstaff that can turn into a mace. So I'm just going to go ahead and put quarterstaff / mace. And I'm not making that up. That's something that I acquired in the last session that we played with Dungeonmaster Johnny. However, I'm also going to buy a dagger, a club, and let's see here. The chain shirt was 50. The shield was 10. The dagger was 2. The club was 1 silver piece. So I'm looking at 62. So 110 minus 62. It's 58. So I got 58 gold left. So I'm going to buy a light crossbow. Or wait, no, that's a martial weapon. I can't buy that. Damn. But I will buy... Or no, crossbow light is simple. Okay. So yeah, light crossbow. I was looking at the... I don't know why I thought it was martial. Light crossbow. Okay. So now I'm going to calculate my stats for these weapons. So I got my mace. It's going to be my primary weapon. So my attack bonus on the mace. The mace is not a light weapon, so I don't get to, or not a finesse weapon, so I don't get to use my dex on this. I'm going to use my strength, a +1, and my proficiency bonus. So I'm rolling at a +3. And then damage is 1d6 plus my strength, so +1. Okay, simple enough. Now I'm going to do the crossbow, so I'm going to do L crossbow, light crossbow. So that's going to be my dex plus my proficiency bonus, so +2. And the damage is going to be 1d8. Okay, and I don't get a bonus on that because I have +0 dex. Alright, so I'm just going to roll 1d8 on that. And then I'll go ahead and stat out the dagger here as well, because those are probably the 3 weapons I'll be using mostly. So the dagger, I get a +3 on, and 1d4 +1 because of my strength. Okay? Now really quick, I'm going to grab a backpack of stuff here. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the priest pack, and it's kind of cool. They have these just equipment packs that have stuff already ready to go, so it kind of saves you some time buying equipment, little adventurers equipment. So the priest pack comes with a backpack, blanket, 10 candles, tinderbox, alms box, incense, peppermints, no, I'm just kidding, incense, censer, vestments, then 2 days of rations, 2 days rations, and a water skin. Okay. Alright. So aside from picking spells, which I will do later, Rorik Surefoot is all done. So hopefully that gives you guys a little kind of brief glimpse into character generation in 5th edition D&D. So that took me about 30 minutes to do, and again, I'm not super familiar with the system yet. I've run 1 session as a DM, and I've rolled up 2 or 3 characters here. So, and the character sheets are really nice. They have a lot of room on the back for coming up with stuff for your character's backstory, description, all kinds of cool stuff like that. So, anyway, guys, that's Rorik Surefoot. I'm going to be leveling him up to level 2 for Dungeonmaster Johnny's game here. And I'm hoping he's going to be a lot of fun to play. So, anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me. Thanks for watching. Take care, and happy gaming all.